Every involuntary prison has one major flaw. They have to be built around the prisoner logged off. This means it cannot be escaped using chunk loading suppression and chunk skipping, since the patch to those universals relies on spawn chunks, the small region of chunks that are always loaded around world spawn. Death Seal is the first involuntary prison that patches these two universals. This is because Death Seal is a spawn chunks prison, but how do you get the prisoner inside the prison involuntarily if you don't build it around them? Death Seal does this by using lava to block off the spawn area and having a pillar of blocks at 0, that forces prisoners to spawn in 2-block high gaps in this pillar, meaning that if you break the prisoner's respawn point and kill them, they spawn directly inside the prison. Death Seal includes a floor detector to detect purling, a roof detector to detect digging down, a tile tick delay detector to detect tile tick delay, an allay banned suicide, a mercy switch, and revived atom grid as the wizard defense. A warp interpearl detector. It has 2 pillars of calibrated skulk sensor connected to a suicide. This detects interpearl warping. Interpearl warping is an exploit discovered by Adam that allows you to teleport interpearls and can also be used on potions. Escapists can use it to teleport into cells or to kill band mobs with potions. Death Seal prevents only interpearl warping, not potion warping, by having the entire unbanned portion of the prison be within range of skulk sensors connected to the suicide. The skulk under this roof is tuned to only detect players being damaged, so that the prison can function without being suicided, while the upper portion detects everything. Interpearl warping only works on 1.21+, because it uses breezes. Suicide of Death Seal is an allay ban. Allay bans are a type of item ban that uses allay as basically a dropper. The allay ban is activated if one of the many detectors are triggered. Once triggered, the allay ban bans everywhere except the respawn point, which is changed to be the exit portal. This makes it so that players without a respawn point don't get banned. As usual, there is a mercy switch to unban the prison once the prison sentence is up. However, using this type of respawn system means Death Seal needs a way to let out non-prisoners who die or exit the inn without a respawn point leave the prison without compromising the prison's security. To do this, Death Seal has an exit portal in the column at 0. When there isn't a visit happening, this portal is open, and it allows for players without a respawn point who die to not be imprisoned. Instead, they get taken to the Nether, where another portal allows them to enter the overworld again. This exit portal also has Skulk, that detects everything but the portal opening and closing, and an X-ray guard to watch the portal when the Skulk is deactivated while the portal opens. During a visit or imprisonment, the exit portal is closed, blocking off the respawn point there, and the cell entrance respawn point is open. Now that I've explained the new features of this prison, let's explain the imprisonment and visiting process, which are both unique. In both cases, the X-ray guard logs on, the cell skulk is turned off, and the portal skulk is turned off as the portal is closed and the cell respawn is opened. The player who is entering is then killed or kills himself without a respawn point. They will then respawn in the cell entrance. After they are pushed forward, the portal is opened, its skulk is activated, and the cell respawn is closed. The control guard then activates a ban check to make sure there aren't any invisible players sneaking in. In case of imprisonment, the cell entrance is opened, and the prisoner drops down into the invulnerable and crystal cell. Once imprisonment is over, a skulk sensor that detects everything is activated and the cell entrance is closed. Visiting is a little bit more complicated than imprisonment. It proceeds as imprisonment until you get to the opening of the cell. Instead, the visiting section is opened. The visitor then takes an interpearl from a barrel and throws it into a stasis chamber. They can then enter the cell. Once the visit is over, a guard blocks off the visitor's exit and activates the stasis chamber, teleporting the visitor. They are then killed with homing potions. Afterwards, the cell skulk is reactivated. Throughout both visiting and imprisonment, a guard is watching everything happen through an X-ray pig nearby. If a visitor does anything suspicious during a visit, the guard will disconnect, triggering the suicide through the auto panic. Death Seal has no need to prevent the end exploit because there is no way to respawn directly in the cell, and use of any items is detectable by skulk or guards or useless, as there is nowhere in the cell to place or break any blocks, and damaging the prisoner activates the suicide. The Interpearl exploit is similarly useless in this prison because you can literally just enter with any item.